First he was Pennywise, then he was a John Wick villain, and now he's playing Count Orlok. Bill Skarsgård has one hell of a resume. Hey movie buffs, I'm Jack Benner, and welcome to my review of
Nosferatu!
Nosferatu is a new horror remake of the 1922 silent film. This film, directed by Robert Eggers, starring Lily Rose Depp, Nicholas Hoult, Bill Skarsgård, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin, and Willem Dafoe. Amazing cast we have here. Nosferatu tells a gothic horror tale of obsession between a married couple of the Hutters, played by both Lily Rose Depp and Nicholas Hoult, and the terrifying vampire Count Orlok, played by Bill Skarsgård, and his infatuation with Ellen. Before I get into my review of Nosferatu, any new viewers coming across my channel for the first time, welcome to my channel. I am Jack Benner. I talk about movies on here. I do movie reviews. From time to time, I do some lists on here. So if you like movie content, like what you see so far, definitely considering that like and subscribe button for more exciting movie content down the road. In 2016, Robert Eggers came on the scene as an exciting new voice in the horror genre with The Witch. Even though that is a divisive movie, you either love it or you just don't like that film, I believe that movie showed Robert Eggers' great potential behind the camera. I find it to be a chilling and atmospheric slow burn horror film, and that film has a fantastic breakthrough performance from Anya Taylor-Joy. Whereas The Witch demonstrated Robert Eggers' potential as a director, in 2019, Robert Eggers goes above and beyond with one of the best sophomore efforts I have ever seen in what I think is his masterpiece, The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is such an hypnotic, engaging, complex, thought-provoking, and an extremely fascinating, one-of-a-kind work of art from Robert Eggers. With the incredible black and white cinematography, the 13:9 aspect ratio, I love how this movie explores insanity, obsession, and the Greek mythology symbolism, but most of all, elevated by two knockout, career best performances from Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. Robert Pattinson is absolutely fantastic in this movie, and I think this tops his performance in good time, but Willem Dafoe in this movie is absolutely phenomenal and electrifying, and that monologue scene alone, all I could say is, I do think Brad Pitt was awesome in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Fine with him winning the Oscar, but if I would give this movie another Oscar nomination, just hands down, Willem Dafoe. That monologue scene alone should have gotten him an Oscar nomination. He was snubbed. And it's both my pick for the best horror film of the 2010s decade and my personal favorite A24 film. And it's also my second favorite film of 2019 behind 1917. In 2022, Robert Eggers continued to excel as a director, going a little bit more mainstream with The Northman. This is such a brutal, ferocious, and visceral Norse mythology revenge film with striking cinematography, amazing technical aspects to capture the authenticity of the time period from the sets, costumes, makeup, and also has a terrific cast ensemble from Alexander Skarsgård in what I think is his best performance, Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicole Kidman, Willem Dafoe, Ethan Hawke, all great. It's got great twists and turns you don't see coming, especially with Nicole Kidman's character. One part of the film where he reunites with her, thought, okay, it's gonna go one way, but then something else happens that caught me off guard. I was like, oh, I did not expect that at all, and it has my attention. The action is brutal and badass, the story is engaging, and is definitely one of my top 10 favorite films of 2022. Although I am disappointed that A, it did not receive a single Oscar nomination. Like, come on. Production design, costumes, makeup, sound, any acting, Skarsgård or Kidman, just nothing. How did a great movie like this not receive a single Oscar nomination? I know it came out in the spring of 2022, but Everything Everywhere All at Once came out in spring of 2022, and that movie won 7 Oscars, including Best Picture. Just seriously, not one? And B, what I also believe, this movie bombed at the box office, which is very unfortunate, and it deserves so much better. I do know it was up against Sonic 2 and The Bad Guys, but this deserves so much better at the box office. Just such a great movie. Hearing that Robert Eggers was planning on doing a remake of Nosferatu, I was immediately excited. both with his gothic style and consistent filmography. I was excited to see how Robert Eggers would do a remake of the 1922 silent film of the same name, and to see how he would put his own unique spin on it. And hearing that he has been planning this movie around when The Witch came out, and he has also co-directed a stage production of Nosferatu in high school. Hearing both of those things made me believe this was a passion project for Robert Eggers. After Dune 2, this was my most anticipated film for the rest of 2024. From Robert Eggers' vision and talents as a filmmaker, from the fantastic trailers, the amazing cast involved, and I had zero doubts about Robert Eggers doing this remake. If it was any other director doing Nosferatu, my interest wouldn't be very high, but with Robert Eggers and his past work, my excitement skyrocketed. I saw Nosferatu a few days before New Year's Eve. I went in with high expectations, just please don't disappoint me. Could this have potential to be the best horror film of the year? So now having seen it, is Nosferatu 2024 a good movie? No. You want to know why? Because it is phenomenal. That's right. Nosferatu not only met my expectations, but manages to surpass them. Nosferatu succeeds as a creepy, haunting, well-crafted, and terrifying remake that absolutely cements Robert Eggers as an accomplished filmmaker in the horror genre. God, I love this movie so much. To start with my pros, I knew Robert Eggers was tailor-made to do a new version of Nosferatu. Watching this film and how astounding it is on a technical level, it was very apparent he was. The production design is immaculate and massive, doing an incredible job with the locations, village, and castles, doing an excellent job of recreating 1830s Germany. Also does a great job establishing haunting mood and tone for the rest of the film. The costume design is so detailed and authentic of different characters, whether it's the town folks, Ellen's gown, or Count Orlok's suit, or other great technical aspects such as the great makeup and hairstyling and the effective sound design. The cinematography in this film looks phenomenal. For each film, Robert Eggers really knows how to get the appropriate color palette, and this film has such amazing use of shadows that was jaw-dropping, just capturing how bleak, dark, and haunting this film looks. And there are so many shots in this movie that just stayed in my head, and I want to see a compilation video when this movie comes out on Blu-ray or digital, whenever, just to see all the amazing shots in this movie. So many creatively used shots with lighting and shadow, fire that are used effectively here. And this might have topped Dune 2 for my pick of the best cinematography of the year. And the eerie musical score is one of my favorites I've heard all year that really adds the tension and dread of the film. As for his direction, this is what I believe Robert Eggers at his most confident. Like, this was the movie he was ready to make in his career, and his skills as a filmmaker on full display. I love the camera work from just how long he holds on a shot, from the long takes that really engross and absorb you in what's going on, whether it's mood or disturbing imagery, or every time he uses a camera pan from left to right that also gives you a feeling of dread. But what I appreciate about Robert Eggers as a director, he remembers to focus on story and characters first, tension and scares second. He knows how to focus on a story that gets you invested in the characters and telling a good story first, and then get to the tension, scares, and atmosphere second. And he's a director who loves to explore character depth, themes, and terror, and what's going on with these characters psychologically. And he knows effectively on how to use his filmmaking skills for a story to grip you and disturb you throughout the entire film. Now, one question. Is this film scary? Yeah. This is just top long legs for me as the scariest and most disturbing film I have seen this year. It has some most unsettling imagery I have seen this year, whether that's gore or there are 2 possession scenes from Lily Rose Depp, who I'll get to later, and there were some scenes involving her that this was my reaction watching those scenes. Just thinking about those scenes now, oh my god. And there are some jump scares in this movie, but they're used at times and minimally. And Eggers is also aware to not make jump scares the main focus of horror. And he knows how to make those scares effectively with those usage. And it's not only the phenomenal filmmaking that elevates this movie, the fantastic cast ensemble anchors this film. Let me start with Lily Rose Depp, who is also Johnny Depp's daughter. And watching the film, just seeing her eyes, I was like, I can kind of see her being Johnny Depp's daughter. But anyways, her performance in this movie just simply blew me away. She was phenomenal in this movie, and it's one of my favorite female performances I have seen this year. How far Depp goes diving into the emotional depth of her role, commanding vulnerability and unbelievable physicality in specific scenes. And it just amazed me when I heard she really did all of that herself and it wasn't CGI. Props to her. And there are some powerful acting scenes from her that she gave more than 100% to. Whether it's one scene, think about her nightmares with Count Orlok, and one scene before her wedding, where she balances both happiness but also fear at the same time. Great acting from her. And another scene with her husband. Oh my god, I can't stop thinking about that scene. That was also terrific. And I am so upset that there's not enough consideration for her to get an Oscar nomination for Best Actress. If I was in charge of the Academy, I would consider her for a Best Actress nomination. And Nicholas Hoult, as her husband, is having quite a year with The Order, Juror Number 2, and this, and that he's also playing Lex Luthor in Superman next year. That's a sign he's not slowing down, so I can't wait to see him as Lex. He shines in his role with sincerity, love for his wife, but most of all, the fear he shows in this movie was fantastic acting. And just an entire sequence where he is terrified. Wow, did he knock it out of the park in those scenes. He is one great actor. And as for the rest of the supporting cast, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Emma Corrin, and Willem Dafoe, who's been in Robert Eggers' last two films, they are all terrific in their supporting roles. And more Willem Dafoe in Robert Eggers movies, please. Supporting, lead role, whatever, just more Dafoe. Always a great thing for me. And he has also had quite a banner year too. Kinds of Kindness, Beetlejuice 2, Saturday Night. Willem Dafoe's the GOAT. And now we get to the man of the hour. Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok. Now, when I heard he was playing Count Orlok, I thought that was perfect casting. Looking back to his performance in Pennywise, how he was successfully able to balance both terrifying and gleeful, I just thought, what does he have up his sleeve for Count Orlok? All I could say is, for these two words, no exaggeration at all, unrecognizable and transformative. Bill Skarsgård was absolutely incredible. Just, oh my god. His commanding presence left me speechless. Every minute he's on screen, the great makeup on him, booming and deep voice. From what I heard, he trained with an opera singer to get that voice really deep. And how his terrifying presence is always felt throughout the film, altogether simply made for a fantastic villain performance. And just hearing his voice for the first time, I was like, wait, that's Bill Skarsgård, right? That's him as Count Orlok. I was like, Count? Okay, it is him. That is. So I was like, oh, that is Bill Skarsgård. Oh my god. This film does a great job of keeping his performance hidden at first. You barely see his face. And just seeing a little bit more to him and just looking into his eyes, I was like, oh my god, that is Bill Skarsgård. He's disappearing into this role. And if I never knew that Bill Skarsgård was in this movie and it was just hidden from the trailers or just never knew when he was cast, I would not believe you. I was like, that's the same guy who played Pennywise? Oh my god, he killed it. And it was definitely a smart move with the trailers to keep his performance hidden and just waiting until the film is seen. Bravo. Obsession does seem to be a reoccurring theme in Robert Eggers' films such as The Lighthouse or The Northman, whether it be what was the light symbolic for in The Lighthouse or just driven by vengeance in The Northman. Eggers has a true knack for diving into the character's psychology and their descent into madness. And that's another excellent reason why I believe Robert Eggers shines as a filmmaker. Just the extra amount of depth and intrigue he injects into his film makes it more enticing. how this film tackles fear with our main characters, whether it's Orlok or plague-infested rats, what they're worried about now and what's to come for the future, and how that fear ties into another theme of death. But the main theme in this film, obsession with Ellen and her being haunted by nightmarish visions of Orlok and his desire and infatuation for her that's unsettling. And I really appreciated that this wasn't just another run-of-the-mill scary film. It truly does have a lot more to explore thematically that makes it more interesting. As for any issues or nitpicks with this movie, I got nothing. Not with the slow pace. This movie does take its time, but I was never bored throughout this film, so no flaws with this movie at all. To sum up, Nosferatu absolutely delivers on what great gothic horror, slow burn filmmaking should be. It's a visually stunning, dark, haunting, atmospheric, engaging, and unsettling film that further proves Robert Eggers, he's 4 for 4. It fires on all cylinders on a technical standpoint. It's engrossing and also has an incredible cast ensemble with 2 scene-stealing performances from Lily Rose Depp and a transformative Bill Skarsgård. I definitely recommend this movie to you if you're fans of the horror genre and you're excited for this movie. You're in for a treat. And if you loved all Robert Eggers' previous films, you're also in for a treat. He does not disappoint here. Or whether you're familiar with the story of Nosferatu or not, I think this film's a must-see. Or if you're not a fan of the horror genre and you're easily frightened, do not watch this movie, please. Just doesn't seem like your cup of tea. Don't watch it. Been waiting for this movie all year, and I was over the moon that it did not disappoint me one bit. And whatever Robert Eggers has in store for his next film or any new genre he wants to tackle he hasn't done yet, I will be there and I fully believe in him. Just 4 great movies in his career and I'm immediately anticipating his next film, whatever that is. And now to grade it, I'm going to give Nosferatu, but bam! 5 out of 5 stars and A+. Yes, it feels great to give a second A+ in 2024 since Dune 2. I really needed this at the end of the year. Just what a great film this was. And this did exactly what a great remake should do by honoring the original and what's came before it and paving the way for an exciting new iteration of it. And Longlegs was my favorite horror film of the year until Nosferatu, and what a great year this has been for horror. Just this, Abigail was a fun time, Heretic I really dug, and I have not seen The Substance yet. I heard great things about that movie, but I am looking forward to checking out that movie whenever I get the chance, and the awards buzz it has, and hearing rave things about the performances. Looking forward to checking out that movie, and hearing it's quite grotesque, so I am aware. And the only Robert Eggers film to receive an Oscar nomination was The Lighthouse for Best Cinematography. Awesome it got that nomination. And like I said before, I was disappointed that The Northman got no nominations. So I really hope, now that this film came out the right time at the end of the year, hopefully its chances at awards and the technical aspects are much stronger. I really hope it can get these 4 nominations, even if it doesn't get the above the line categories. If it can get these 4, great. Production design, costume design, makeup and hairstyling, and cinematography. That last one, please get nominated for that. The cinematography was incredible and the best I've seen so far this year. Just please don't snub this film for best cinematography. And now, here's my ranking of all 4 Robert Eggers directed films. Number 4 would be The Witch. Number 3 would be The Northman. Number 2, that's where Nosferatu is in my ranking. And number 1, The Lighthouse. So that right there is my ranking of all 4 Robert Eggers directed films, and feel free to share your ranking in the comments below. I would love to hear. So I would like to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of Nosferatu? Have you seen it? Do you agree? Disagree with my review? Or if you haven't seen it, are you interested in seeing the film or not? Let me know down below. Did you enjoy hearing my thoughts on this movie? Want to see more reviews like this in the future? If yes, please hit that like and subscribe button if you're new here, and don't forget that notification bell for my next upload in the future. It really means a lot. My social media links are in the description down below. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you'd like to see my written reviews, I do have a Letterboxd account, so if you'd like to follow me on there as well. And that is it for my last review of the year. I had a great time doing movie reviews this year. Thank you all for watching, subscribing, liking, leaving a comment, anything to support the channel. I truly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you all so much for a great year on the channel, and looking forward to 2025. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.